Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that I'm coming late. It's not deliberate. You know, the challenge is just the issue of the time. You know, the issue of the time, that is a big challenge. You know, you sleep a bit. You say like, okay, I'll wake up, and then you just like oversleep, and then you miss a time. You set the alarm. That you know, it's very difficult. You know, where I am, this is 02. So if you can imagine, it's like you know, waking up at 02. You know, like in your case, waking up at 02 is very, very difficult. When I was younger, it was much easier for me. I remember one time driving all the way from Durban, driving all the way without sleeping, reaching Zambia. Those days. Yeah, I did sell cars at some point. You know, some of you who think that, you know, I come from nowhere. I am a very business-minded person. And I've run businesses. I've stood by myself. So when I left the seminary, I needed a skill. So I needed to engage in school, and I had to sponsor myself somehow. So I engaged in, you know, buying cars and bringing them to Zambia to sell, you know. Then later on, when I couldn't go back and forth because my wife then was expecting, so I couldn't be going back and forth. So I started doing, you know, car hire at Intercontinental. You know, those vehicles which I was bringing, they were good cars. So I would go at Intercontinental there and, you know, pirate in the night. You know, pirate in the night. Yeah. During the day, I was running car hire. You know, I remember during the time of Comesa, you know, yeah, I was one of those people that were hired. Yeah. And my wife, yes, I was just about to start because I overslept. I slept when I called you. That's when I just woke up. You wanted me to. Okay. Stand up. I want to see. No, I want to see you stand up. I want to see you. Hi, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for escorting her. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I had to pick that. That's my wife. Anyway, I was doing that. I was trying to wake up my mind. Yeah. So anyway, please, just bear with me for, you know, this coming late and all. It is just the time, and you know, I was trying to reboot my mind. But the first thing that I want to discuss, I want to go into it straight. I want to discuss the issue of, you know, bail or bond. Bail or bond. I want to discuss that a little bit because it has become topical in our situation. It has become topical in our situation. So I think I thought it would be good to discuss it. Hello? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something.
I'm listening.
Yes, yes. In the area, these guys have heard that there's a case they have in South Africa. According to, they want to find out what killed the ECL.
I'm live right now. I'm live right now. If you want, you can join me. I'm sure I will touch that issue. I will explain. So I'm live. Try just to follow, and then if there is a question, you can call in when I've started taking calls. For now, let me you know, talk a bit.
All right. There's something that I want to ask you detailed.
Hello? Yeah, so, hello. Yeah, my mind is trying to wake up. So the issue of bond and bail, this issue has become topical. And I thought as a public lawyer, I should address it. And address it from an objective point of view. Because for me, This is why I have this program. This program is meant, to highlight certain issues objectively. Even issues that I am involved and I'm whatever, I want to give people, some information to know about these issues. Number one, when you talk about bond is given at the police. Bond is given at the police. There are two different things. Bond and bail, they are different. But what they do is basically both of them, they achieve the same goal. Bond and bail, both of them achieve the same goal, which is to release a person whilst the case is going on. To release a person whilst the person is going on. So the objective of bond and bail is the same. What is the objective? The objective is to release a person so that he can go home whilst the case is going on. Okay? However, these two are given at different places. These two are given at different places. The objective is the same, but they are given at different places. Bond is given at the police. Bail is given at in the courts. So this is the difference. The objective is the same. What is the objective? Release a person so that the person can go home, and be free whilst the case is still going on. Paja pamene mlandu ukali kuyenda bazamilekererako mwenda kunyumba, mzambo choka kunyumba, mzambo nkala kunyumba, whilst kesi yanu ikali mukoti. So bond or bail, what is it? Objective yake is to make sure that waenda kunyumba, then uenda kukoti kuchokera kunyumba, o mulea kukoti whilst muli kunganda. It gives you that freedom. Okay, it gives you that freedom. Bond wamapasa ku police, bail wamapasa mu court. But yonse yamapasa freedom. It's the same thing. It gives you freedom. But bond ni ku court. Bail ni bond ni ku police. Bail ni ku court. Then on both sides, it is at the discretion of the police or at the discretion of the court. It is not a right. Bond is not a right. Bond is not a right. It is at the discretion of the police or the court. So when you are arrested by the police, it is not your right that they should give you bond. It is not your right. They can deny you bond for reasons. Okay, if there are reasons they see that, especially if they say you are a flight risk, you are a person that they think that if they give you bond at the police, they think that it might be difficult for you to go to court, or you might run away. You might find yourself in Malaysia. Okay? You might find yourself in Malaysia. Bond, if they arrest you, it will be very difficult to be given. I am giving you things objectively. If you are a flight risk, a good example, I'll tell you, a good example is myself. Of course, I've got my reasons why I'm in Malaysia. It is not that I just ran away from the courts. There are reasons why I had to leave the country. However, a person in my situation, if I'm in Zambia and I committed a crime, it is very difficult for the police to give me bond. It will be very difficult. And objectively speaking, rightly so. Objectively speaking, rightly so. Because they'll be like, last time you had cases and you jumped bail or whatever. No, we can't give you. Okay? You can't come out and say, I'm being victimized because I'm a politician. That's why they don't want to give me bond. They want to fix me. No, it is the circumstances. It is the circumstances. Another situation is where somebody, you have got dual citizenship. You have got dual citizenship. And unfortunately, this is the situation that we are talking about, with Faith. Faith, Ethel Chisono. This is the situation as well, because she has got dual citizenship. She's an American, she's Zambian. And the information I have is that, when she came, I think she used an American passport. So there is a fear that if they release her, she might leave. Okay? So there has been a problem from the police side, because we were trying to push that, she's given bond. But the police's hands were tied. And that's how they said, well, the only thing that we can do, we'll have to take her to court. And then at the court, the judge will decide. An application was made for bail. So now it became bail. At the court, it was bond. In court, it became bail, to say she will apply for bail. And the magistrate will decide. Okay? And that case has not yet been determined. But we are looking at, the possibility that she can be given bail. But the point I'm trying to get to point to is that they consider to say, if we let go of this person, will this person be coming to court? Okay? So they are situations which are considered. Pali bondi, when your case, and this is your case before your case reached conviction. So they consider these cases. So I think I've explained this issue, the objective and where it is given. However, there is also another stage now. There are two stages of cases. There are two stages of the case. The first stage is where you are going through a trial. When you are going through a trial, So, Bakugwila, you are going through trial. The case has not yet been determined. Usually at that point, it is rare that you are denied bond or bail. It is usually rare. It is very rare that the police will deny you bond, or they will deny you, or the magistrate will deny you bail. It is very, very rare. But this is a situation where the case has not started. The case has not been, you have not yet been convicted. You have not yet been convicted. And from my knowledge, we don't have people that have been denied either bond or bail when the case is currently going on. We have the situation, even nuisance like why me, have applied for this, and of course the case had to be discussed, had to be argued. And why me particularly, in the last time, it was because, the guy didn't have, was not a fixed abode. He was not a fixed abode. It was difficult. Even this time around, looking at how why me has been behaving, last time he was arrested. When he was released, what did he do? He went on social media and started insulting. Immediately. Honestly, how can you expect why me to be given bail? Because now he's in court, they have applied for bail. And that case is yet to be determined. But surely, the magistrate would have to step so high to give why me bail. Look at the guy. Look at the guy. This is the second. It's not the first. It's not the first time that is in court for these cases, and it is not a case of to say no. What? It's just insulting. So such a guy, if he's denied bail, it is not an issue that you should even start talking about to say, no, why me? Because he was insulting Akainde Ichilema, whatever. Clearly, we should be reasonable. We should be objective. So, but there are rare circumstances where bail or bond is denied. Now, there is an issue of Maria Zaromes. Maria Zaromes, where, not that, first of all, I don't agree with Maria Zaromes' case, but I don't agree with Maria Zaromes' case on the charge. Where we have a challenge is on the charge. Where we have a challenge is on the charge. Maria Zaromes' charge is manslaughter. And manslaughter is bailable. Manslaughter is bailable. So, where we have a challenge is on the charge. There is nothing wrong in Maria Zaromes being given bail because manslaughter is bailable. And really, as per the charge, there is no need for Maria Zaromes to be detained, as per the charge. So the problem is not in giving Maria Zaromes bail. The problem is in the charge. The charge that she has been given is manslaughter. Manslaughter is bailable. So there is nothing that a judge, in this case, because she's at the High Court, manslaughter is tried at the High Court. So there is nothing that, this judge really can do. Maria Zaromes is a fixed aboard, blah, 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 blah. She's not a flight risk. So there is no way, the judge would deny her bail in this instance. So we need to understand these things. Because I've seen people complaining, but Maria Zaromes has been given bail. Maria Zaromes has been given bail. Maria Zaromes has been given bail pending a case being heard. And it is a case of manslaughter. And manslaughter is bailable. The case has not even started. The case has not even started. So let us not, confuse these issues. Let's not mix up these issues. Maria Zaromes' case has not started. She's not a convict yet. She's not a convict. So you cannot compare Maria Zaromes to those who have already been convicted. So this is where I was saying that it's given at different stages. The first stage, your case has not started. You are going through trial. Then the other stage is whereby you are now convicted and you have appealed. When you have appealed, yes, there is bail pending an appeal. There is bail there as well, pending an appeal. And people have been given bail before, pending an appeal. Vakambwidi is one of those who was given bail pending an appeal. Vakambwidi is inside now. It was after, the case was upheld at the High Court. It was after the case was upheld at the High Court. We have other people, particularly today, people are shouting about Malangi. Malangi and others, they have been denied bail pending an appeal. Now, what is important when the case has passed judgment, or in other ways, bail pending an appeal? What is crucial? What is crucial is, does your case stand a chance of being overturned? This is very, very important. When you apply for bail pending an appeal, the judge usually look at the judge or the magistrate usually look at the possibility of your case being overturned. That's what they look at. They look at the evidence. Does this evidence look like it can be overturned? If it can be overturned, then let's let this person go home so that this person does not suffer an injustice for being in jail when the case will be if the case is overturned. Because when the case is overturned, let's say you have done 1 month or 3 months, then the case is overturned. I mean, that is an injustice on your part. But when they look at the case to say this case is highly unlikely to succeed, in that case, it is very difficult for the judge to give you, or magistrates to give you, bail. So if you look at the case of Vamalanji, as much as he continue refusing, and some of you keep pleading for him being innocent, Vamalanji's case is very strong against him. It's very strong. It has been strong from the time that it started. But look, he was given bail at the magistrate. Before the case before judgment was passed, he was given bail at court. He was given bail. So how come this time you are busy complaining to say, no, hey, this is an injustice, hey, others are being given, and you are comparing it to Maria Zaromes? There is a difference. Before the case was judged, Malanji was given bail. Before, I don't know if it was bail or bond, but he was free. He was coming from home until the case was heard and determined. After the case was determined, the magistrate who looked at that matter said he doesn't see it likely to be overturned. He doesn't see it likely to be overturned. So, you don't expect him to be given bail pending appeal, no? No. And comparing it with Maria Zaromes is wrong, because at the stage at which the case Maria Zaromes is, when it was in Malanji's situation, Malanji was free. So how are you comparing this? When Malanji was at the magistrate, he had bail or bond. I'm not sure which one it was, but he was free. He was coming from home. After the case was determined, the judge, the magistrate, is looking at it to say, this case is not likely to succeed. And even those other people that you have been talking about, I am sorry, I feel bad for Bafredi Yamba. I really feel bad for Bafredi Yamba, because really, for me, that man is an innocent man. It's a pity that he finds himself in this situation. But this is what is considered. When you look at Malanji's case, that case is overwhelming. Then there are other people that you are mentioning. I don't want to mention them, but all those that you are talking about, if you look at their evidence, the evidence again is overwhelming. It's overwhelming that it's difficult for the judge or magistrate to give these people. It's very difficult. Tell me one case where you believe that, this case can be overturned. Which one? Which one? When I open phone lines, tell me a case where you are thinking to say, but this case, the evidence is not solid. Give me one case where you believe that, no, here, this case is weak. This case is weak. And, this person can be given a bail or bond. There is another situation. I know you bring up the situation of Kelvin Waliasampa. If you look at Kelvin Waliasampa, that case is a case of him extorting money from someone. That is the case. Extorting money from someone. And he was convicted and jailed. Then he has appealed. Now, this situation is a very difficult situation because the case is between him and an individual. It is between him and an individual. This individual can at any point change his mind. And mind you, when somebody appeals, it means that even you, as the person who has reported the case, you need to continue. You need to continue, even engaging lawyers, you need to continue. Yes, it is prosecuted by the state, but somehow you need to continue pushing that case. You need to continue pushing that case. And sometimes people may just lose interest, or people might negotiate. So whilst the state is putting in so much resources to ensure that the appeal is heard, I mean, Mao Sampa might go behind and talk to this person, and they might agree. Oh, no, the money that I got to you from you, I know I'll give you blah 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 blah, and the complainant might lose interest. So there is a high possibility that Mao's Kelvin Gwadesampa can actually get out of this situation. Kelvin Gwadesampa, you might even see that he's acquitted at the appeal, because the complainant usually, they don't push as much when it is started at appeal stage, unless, you know, this person is so determined. But usually people lose steam, and when they lose steam, you might find that, you know, this person, I mean, is even acquitted. So when Kelvin Gwadesampa is acquitted, don't be shocked to say, no, it's politics. Say no, because he's supporting UPND. It is the situation. It is the situation. But then there's another situation which has come in Zambia, where we have to be very honest. There is another situation which has made things very difficult in Zambia for people to be given bond or bail. And this situation is people like me. Speaking objectively, where people have fled the country, you know, and this situation has made it difficult for people to be given bond or bail. It has made it very difficult. You know, it started with the high profile was what's this? KZ left. You remember the issue of KZ? I think there is another person that also left. Then we have JJ. Then we have Chilufya Tayali. So these cases, to be honest, they have made it difficult for people appearing before the people who are being arrested and people who are in court, because, you know, now there is a consideration to say, this person might go. Especially if you look at some of these politicians, you know, some of these politicians. Of course, my case is very different. My cases are very different. But, you know, at the end of the day, even those who have stolen, when they run away, they claim to say, no, it is political persecution. When they run away, they say, no, it's political persecution. But most of these guys, they are criminals. And this is why, like I said, my case is different. This is why you don't see them being given asylum, recognized asylum. Not just whereby you are living in a country because the country, is looking away. There are situations where you are in a country, and the country is just looking away. Not really that they have given you asylum. When they give you asylum, I mean, there are even documentation. And usually asylum is not given by a country or by a government. Yes, a government can do. I'm saying usually. Usually it is UNHCR. So even if a country wants you to, they sympathize with you, they will still push you with UNHCR, because UNHCR has got the mechanism, has got a system which vets people to say, are they really asylum seeker or not? So UNHCR has that system. They work with different security agencies. They even have, judges who will look at, they are employed, not that they have got courts. They don't have courts, but they have got people with legal backgrounds that you go to. They interview you. You go in there like it's a court. And they interview you in such a way like they are like prosecutors. You have people who are really like prosecutors. And they will argue with you to explain, but you did this, but is this right? And whatever. When they see that actually whatever you are claiming is not political persecution. They will never give you. And so countries, usually they push this to UNHCR or an agency that works with UNHCR. You know, in Zambia, you know, we have that refugee and whatever. They also work with UNHCR. And there is a committee that sits before they decide whether your case is, you know, is a case that of political persecution or not. And many of these people that have left the country, they cannot stand before these committees and the security wings to convince them that actually their case is political persecution. They can't. They can't. So what usually happens is that, you know, the country where they are, they look away. They look away. They just say, no, your case is not yet determined. Your case is not yet determined. The case is not yet determined. They don't give you the verdict. They don't give you the verdict, but they don't recognize you. They don't recognize you as an asylum seeker. In Zambia, the statistics are there. The statistics are there. The only person who has been recognized as an asylum seeker is me. Nobody. All those that you can think of, whatever, nobody has been recognized as an asylum seeker. Nobody. It's only me at the moment. So the point I'm trying to tell you is that it is not everybody who leaves the country who is considered an asylum seeker. No. And don't think that you can just leave your country and then immediately they give you to say you are an asylum seeker. No. It doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work out like that. So most of the people who are out there, they are on different visas, because you can leave Zambia and you go into another country and you just have a normal visa. You know, you just have a normal visa. You can apply for a normal visa as a student, as somebody who's working, as a businessman. You can apply for those visas. But to get that status of an asylum, a recognized asylum seeker, is not easy. But the point I'm trying to tell you is that this has made it very difficult for people appearing before the police or the courts. It is difficult. It is difficult. And please, bear with the judiciary, bear with the courts. The circumstances under which many of these people are finding themselves, it's difficult for them to be given bond or bail pending an appeal. It's difficult. Please, let us be objective even as we look at these matters. It is not fair that we should just bring in, no, it's persecution, others are being given, whatever. There are conditions. And most of these people that you have been discussing, especially today, their names that you have been talking about, those situations, I mean, their cases are very difficult. Very difficult. Malanji, if anything, is going to be jailed more years. He's going to be given more years. Malanji should be given more years than to be given some more time to be loitering around. Malanji is a criminal. Malanji is a criminal. Yes, I saw Kadas. No, boss mukosefie, boss mwalia fwa wengi. Yeah, even if akabwala na bala fwa wengi. Bala fwa wengi. Buy, you know, and they buy people, they corrupt people so that people can stand with them when they are arrested. But the point is, niwe wakabwala. Ba malanji na ngumulanda ti yo, mwali afu abenge na ngumwale diamu. Ba malanji ni wakabwala. He's a thief. And he's so big. Malanji deserves to be given more years than sympathy. I don't sympathize with Malanji. Malanji should rot in jail. Malanji, even 10 years is little. Even 10 years is little. These are people that are being executed in China. In China, such a person will be executed. So Malanji is a criminal. Malanje is a criminal. He's a criminal. Eh? And then I also saw a comment to say, no, what the president said is wrong. The president is not supposed to be, a prosecutor, he's not whatever. I mean, when there is an injustice, where do we go? When there is injustice, we rush to the president, we appeal to the president. No, hey, the president, please, intervene. So, even a situation where I haven't yet opened phone lines. Even the situation where the prosecution need help, they go to the president. The president is not the person. The president is part of government. Prosecution is part of government. And if you must know, the president is part of the prosecution by the fact that he is part of government. He's the head of state. Everything, the buck stops at President Hakainde Hichilema. If there is a miscarriage in justice, the buck stops at Hakainde Hichilema. Trust me, he is the head of state. So if a state is prosecuting a matter and they have a challenge, they have got a right to go to the president. Just like yourselves, we as citizens, if a case is not going right, we are failing an injustice, we have got a right to go and complain to the president. To say this is the situation. And the president has got a right to engage the people that are in there to say, there is this case, what is going on? What is this injustice? The president cannot look away when there is evidence injustice. Somebody's rights are being abused, and it's very clear. The president cannot ignore to say, no, separation of powers. No, I cannot do anything. No, the president has got powers to summon, the DPP and whoever people that are involved and discuss the matter. The president has got that right. I mean, there is this case. What is going on? And the DPP will explain. They say, no, this person must be prosecuted, blah, 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 blah. Of course, the decision, in as far as the cases that are in court, rests on the DPP. But the president has got a right to hear whatever is going on. The president is number one. He is number one in the country. He is the head of state. There is nothing which you can say, no, this does not involve the president. No. Of course, I mean, some decisions have to be made by the office bearers. But the president has got the right to summon anyone and inquire about the case. He has got the right. He has the right. He cannot just call the judges, but he can call the prosecutor. He can call DEC. He can call ACC. He can call the police. That is why both those who are prosecuting and the police, they have got the right to go to the president. Even us as citizens, we have got the right to go to the president. If my case, I feel the case is not right, like in my case is political persecution. And I mean, I've got a right to write to the president, Mr. President, this is the situation. And the president can summon people and engage them about these matters. And the decision can be made. So, don't say, no, the president, hey, whatever. We should be fair. Because one day, you will need the president yourself. So if you are jumping to say, no, hey, the president was not supposed to intervene in Malanje to make sure that the witnesses come. When you will be facing an injustice, you might need the president. You might need the president to intervene. But if you can go to the president to intervene in your matter, can't the prosecution also do the same? They can. He is the head of state. He is the head of state. And in as far as he's acting in that position as head of state, not as Hakainde Hichilema, but as head of state, he is within his rights. He is within his rights. So, pretty much that. Then, let me go to the issue of, the Edgar Lungus. Now, basically, before I start, I discussed that. Yes, I said he can't call the judges, but the right to Chief Justice. Oh, yes. Yes, but he has the right to Chief Justice. Yes, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Mirimo Sikazo. He cannot call judges, but he has got the right to call the Chief Justice. Chief Justice, what about this? What is this going on? The president, that's why I tell you, that position is very powerful. That position is very powerful. And as long as the president is acting in the interest of the citizen, there is nothing wrong. As long as the president is acting in the interest of the country and the citizens, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong. So, and of course, respecting the office bearers, it's very important. Now, the issue of Edgar Lungu. First of all, I want to offer my condolences once again to the people of Kenya for the loss of Lyra Odinga, and of course the family as well. Now, there is a lot that we can say or that we can lay on Lyra Odinga. There is a lot. One thing for me, as one person that has been following Raila Odinga, is that the man had, he was like he was a master at politics. Raila Odinga was a politician full time. He was an institution. He was an authority in politics. Raila Odinga, he was an authority in politics. The man knew politics, both, from outside and from inside, from the front and from the back. Raila Odinga knew politics, and he has shaped Kenyan politics. Raila Odinga, by the way, the father was the first vice president. He was the first vice president, the father. So he has got an advantage in a way. When I was looking at him, that, this man, he grew in politics. Though the father was a teacher before, but he joined politics, and he was the first prime minister, I think, in 1963. Now, growing from that background, he has been in politics. And he has been in politics for about 40 years. More than 40 years, Raila Odinga. He has been in politics. So he has seen a lot. He knew a lot. Raila Odinga contributed to bringing about multipartyism in Kenya. He was jailed for 6 years. 6 years without trial. 6 years. He was accused of, wanting to stage a coup. He was accused of wanting to stage a coup. And he was jailed for 6 years. I think he came out in 1991, and then again he was arrested for a year. And he had to go in exile as well. Some of you, no, you are in exile. No, I'm a politics here recover. If you are making an impact, you don't be surprised that you find yourself in jail. No, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that you find yourself in exile. No, I'm a politics here recover. Yeah, recover politics. Alan is saying 46 years. Yes, 46 years, he has been there. So he was jailed. He was arrested several times. He found himself no, it was 6 years. 6 years, not 8 years. Not 8 years. He stayed in jail for 8 years, but then he was arrested. I think that 8 years is a combination of even the other time, because again he was arrested for about a year. So maybe that 8 years you are talking about is a combination of the time that he had spent in jail. And he stayed also in exile. After exile, that's when, there was multipartyism, and he came back into the country and started leading his party. He attempted on the presidential vote or ballot 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. So, he was in exile in USA. Basically, he was in Norway. I think that's where he was recognized. When he left, he was in Norway. That's where he was granted asylum, in Norway. Yes, of course, he has been everywhere. But I think officially he was recognized as an asylum seeker in Norway. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that, so he has had all this experience, and the critical elections were, where when he contested, when he became number 2. He has become number 2, I think, 3 times. And these have been very, very critical elections. Now, what is very interesting about this man is that he has been having very, very strong support with a huge following, but he has been compromising. There have been violence in Kenya where people are clashing because of the strength of Raila Odinga. Because of the strength of Raila Odinga, such that he would make a government ungovernable. And he did it, when really he was fighting. I mean, Kenya was on fire. Until, he even had to shake hands, the famous handshake. Was it in 2019? The famous handshake. When was it? Is it 2019? Between him and Uhuru Kenyatta. And William Ruto was not happy about it. And that split William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, people who have been together for some time, because of the strength of Raila Odinga, these two separated and they became rivals. Even in the last elections, Uhuru Kenyatta did not support William Ruto. But it is because of the strength of Raila Odinga. Now, what is very important in all this is that in spite of his strength, he was compromising. With the government. And that is how he was even made prime minister. Okay? That's how he was even made prime minister. Because he compromised. He was compromising. Even this time around, he was, the last election of, is it 2022, 2023, was also very, heated. It was very heated. The last election, when was it? Was it 2022 or 2023? No, 2022, I think. The last election was heated. It was heated. But he went, it was, they shook hands in 2018. Thank you very much. And the last election was in what? 2023 or 2022? Now, with Ruto, where Ruto won. I think it's 2022 or 2023. I can't remember this. But the issue is that this man is the one that usually, he takes a humble position. After fighting, he was so patriotic that he would take a humble position to agree to engage with the government, to agree to engage with the incumbent, which is a different case when you look at Edgar Chagwa Lungu. But Edgar Chagwa Lungu, when he was president, he could not meet Hakainde Hichilema. He couldn't. I know I participated in some of these meetings where there was an attempt that Edgar Lungu would meet the opposition, and the opposition including Hakainde Hichilema, especially through ZCID. I have been part of ZCID. I attended several meetings where there was, a negotiation that, Edgar Lungu would meet Hakainde Hichilema. But whenever Hakainde Hichilema name was brought in, Edgar Lungu was not willing to meet Hakainde Hichilema. On the contrary, Hakainde Hichilema was willing to meet Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema was very desirous to meet Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu was always refusing. This is a fact. Even you people abali mu PF, you know. This is a fact. Hakainde Hichilema through and through has always been desirous to meet Edgar Chagwa-Lungu. But Edgar Chagwa-Lungu has never wanted it. So I'm drawing parallels because some of you are saying no, but Raila Odinga was treated differently. I'm telling you that Raila Odinga has always been willing to engage the government, has always been willing to engage the president. But your Edgar Lungu, even when he was president, no one can dispute this because I know I was part of these meetings and whatever. Edgar Lungu has never agreed to meet Hakainde Hichilema, never. When he was president, when he left as president, there were a number of attempts which were made for these two to meet, Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu was always coming up with excuses. He was always coming up with excuses. This time around, the latest time, he even came up with conditions. And what were the conditions? The conditions were that, no, I cannot meet Hakainde Hichilema because my family is in court. How do I meet? Remember at the funeral of Arabi, what did Edgar Lungu say? Yes, all this is okay, but hypocrisy. There is hypocrisy where you are doing this, but meanwhile you are doing something else. Edgar Lungu has always been complaining of his family members being summoned to police or going to court. And he made this one as a condition that he could only meet President Hakainde Hichilema if the cases of his children and the wife, later on the wife, because the case of the wife came later, they are dropped. That was the condition. That was the condition. If you talk about Raila Odinga, I can rest assure you, Raila Odinga had faced a number of challenges in terms of his family, including the wife. The wife was tormented big time. Big time. But Raila Odinga was always willing to compromise. Edgar Lungu was never willing to compromise. Edgar Lungu instead is the one who was giving conditions, especially after he left State House. Edgar Lungu was fighting. He was fighting. Till his death, he was fighting Hakainde Hichilema. This is a fact. This is a fact. You all remember where he was saying, no. He kept on saying that. What do you expect when you are daring the incumbent? What do you expect? Let's just be fair, Manny. Let's be fair. When you enter into politics, you need to be ready to be confronted with some of these issues. Even me, that's why you don't hear me complaining so much. Hey, no, whatever. Yes, now I'm supporting Hakainde Hichilema. That is part of compromise. That is part of compromise. That is part of compromise. Kuchama politics. Ufire wacha. Ndata uchire ma politics. If you are not strategic, how can in my situation I keep on, challenging Hakainde Hichilema? Hey, Hakainde Hichilema. Hey, Hakainde Hichilema. Who am I? It is not the president to compromise. This is one thing that you should know. It is not the president to compromise. It is the subjects to compromise. If you think you are so strong, you start daring the president. You must know. You are not daring, an individual. You are daring the system. Sometimes you'll be sorted out before even the president knows. The president will never send people to say, go and lynch Chilufya Tayali. No. cadres themselves, they will decide wherever they are, you know, Tayali is talking too much. And you meet some of these cantankerous boys, they'll lynch you up. It is not the president. The president, by the time the president is coming to know, you have been beaten. Even being arrested, it's not all the time that the president knows that, you know, you have been arrested. Why am I refusing to come? It is not because Hakainde Hichilema has not forgiven me. Some of you like to say, no, Hakainde Hichilema will not forgive you. Hakainde Hichilema has forgiven me. I can assure you that. I can assure you that Hakainde Hichilema has forgiven me. Hakainde Hichilema has forgiven me. Hakainde Hichilema has invited me to come back into the country. He has invited me to come back to the country. But I am smart enough to know that politics is not all about the president. It's not all about the president. Politics, I mean, it involves a lot of people. The president can be thinking something else, but there will be other people that will be thinking otherwise. Even on this platform, there are people who, now that I am supporting Hakainde Hichilema, they are happy with me. But there are still people here who still say, no, you made Nsamansa die. No, you made Lawrence Banda die. No, you. There are still people, there are UPND, in spite of me supporting Hakainde Hichilema, but there are people who still don't agree. Even in government, at the government level, there are people who still, even in State House, State House is not only Hakainde Hichilema, there are a lot of people in State House. And those people who work in State House, they have got powers, I can assure you. They have got powers. Not everyone in State House likes me, no. Not everyone at State House believes in me supporting Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema may believe it to say, you know, these are politics. Come on, let's just, move on, you know. Hakainde Hichilema is of that attitude as we speak, I can assure you. If you ask Hakainde Hichilema will not say bad things about me. I can challenge you that. But being president is not everything. The state is complex. Politics is complex. There are people within State House who, when they hear Tayali is in the country, they will start pushing. They will push, there is this. There is this. A good example is also Ethel. Ethel's situation. Ethel is that a case where Ethel is being pushed by cadres. Is being pushed by cadres. And cadres very no, this person, no. Very no, I'm cadres, very no. They are refusing to withdraw the case. No, we can't withdraw. Who are the complainants in this instance? It's not Hakainde Hichilema who is the complainant in this instance. And Hakainde Hichilema, much as yes, is the president, he cannot just come in, he cannot just call, hey, you are complaining against Ethel, can you drop that case? He can't do that. He can't do that. He can't do that. Yes, you can do it here and there, but these things, these are some of the things that follow people when they leave office. So even in my situation, I can assure you that if I came into the country, there can be somebody who may just hate me. He just doesn't like me. Maybe because I spoke against him or whatever. And this person is just not happy. He's just not happy. And he will come up with a case. And Hakainde Hichilema will have difficulties in saying, no, I mean, let go of the man. So, our politics, FOA, the point what I'm trying to tell you is that our politics are complex. When you are daring the president, when you are daring the system, you must be ready to be bruised. You must be ready to lose everything. You must be ready to end up in exile. So, by Edgar Lungu, you cannot, you talk, no, he was refused from going to medicals and whatever. First of all, I must tell you that where genuinely Edgar Lungu wanted to leave the country, he actually left. Where genuinely where genuinely Edgar Lungu wanted to leave the country. He left the country. Where genuinely he wanted to leave the country, he left the country. Edgar Lungu was in Korea. Edgar Lungu recently, before he died, he was at the inauguration of Mnangagwa in Zimbabwe. You people like to say, no, he was denied. Where genuinely Edgar Lungu wanted to leave the country, he went. It was in situations where there were intelligence information that Lungu was not going for whatever he was talking about. That is the only time that Lungu was denied. Where there was intelligence information that whatever he was saying is not what he was going for. Even now, Lungu went to South Africa. If you people are saying, no, he was denied to go for medicals, how did he go? Because this time around, he was genuinely going for medicals. He left the country. He left the country. He left the country. Where, the point I want you to get, where genuinely Lungu wanted to go somewhere and there is a reason and the reasons was genuine, Lungu was allowed to go. He went to Korea. He went to Zimbabwe and he went to South Africa. Because even in South Africa, it is not only this time when he died. I think he went to South Africa 3 times, twice or 3 times. And he died in South Africa. How did he die in South Africa if he was denied to go out? How did he die in South Africa? Did he go on an ambulance? No, he didn't go on an ambulance. He didn't go on an ambulance. No, we use what tricks? There are no tricks that he used to leave the airport. There are no tricks. He went on a commercial plane. Pro-flight. He went on a commercial plane. He passed through the security system. There is no way he wouldn't have been detected. And there is no way an officer there, if the government had said no, he shouldn't go, there is no officer that would have stopped him. No, an officer was fired because, no. It is not that he was, that officer who was fired was not fired because he allowed Edgar Lungu to go. He was fired because of a security breach. It was a security breach whereby the only people, there are people who are allowed to pass through the airport without being searched. There are people. And only limited people are allowed to pass through the airport without being searched. All others are supposed to pass through the security system. Ministers, the Chief Justice, the Speaker, they are supposed to pass through the security system. A former president is not one of those people who can pass through the security system without being searched. No. And airport protocols are not governed by Zambia alone. They are governed by international laws, aviation, security, whatever. These are the ones that govern. So you don't just breach that. Because no, you don't. You don't. And so that is what that person was charged for. He was not charged because he allowed Lungu to pass. What about the immigrations? Because if you are saying that, I mean, a bunch of people would have been fired. Even somebody from the immigration, the one who stamped the passport, would have been fired. So it is not true to say Lungu was being denied from going for medicals. No. Where genuinely Lungu wanted to go for medicals, he was given. It was only in situations where the meeting, whatever the travel was, clandestine. And because he was always daring the incumbent, he was fighting the system. That is how he faced challenges. That is how he faced challenges. All of us politicians, I'm telling you, when you are approaching a government system, it doesn't just go like that. It doesn't just go like that. It just doesn't go like that. If you are a politician, you find that anyone, even a receptionist, you come before an office, a receptionist will look at you and instead of just allowing you to go in, this person will have to think twice. And he would have to make calls. Hey, Padiba Tayali apa. Hey, there's Tayali here. Hey, should I allow him in or not? That's just what happens when you are in politics, especially when you are fighting the government. Everything becomes difficulty. Everything becomes difficulty. Even just a simple process. You apply for something, You apply for something, whatever it is. You could be applying for a passport. You apply for a passport. Somebody who look at it. You are a Zambian, but you have applied for a passport. But somebody will look at it because you're a politician. Hey, somebody will look at it. Yeah, but this passport, it's Tayali, And somebody will even refuse. A small person just down there, he will refuse simply because you are a politician. Because, that's just what politics is. When you enter politics and you are making an impact, I can rest assure you, my brothers and sisters, that complaining about the treatment that you get from different people is useless. Is useless. Then you are not a politician. Then is a politician. Yes, Tembi, you are right. Worse if you are in business. I was just telling you that me, I'm an astute businessman. I have run businesses, and I run businesses. But when you are a politician, it becomes difficult to run those businesses. It becomes difficult. So all these excuses that you make, Edgar Lungu this, Edgar Lungu this. The point is that Edgar Lungu was fully engaged in politics. And he repeated it a number of times. He used to challenge the incumbent. He used to refuse to meet the incumbent. Totally different scenario with Raila Odinga. Totally different. Raila Odinga was meeting, diplomats, different foreign envoys, on behalf of Kenya as an opposition. Raila Odinga, you never heard Raila Odinga. Where did you see Raila Odinga, having a rally or meeting people in a foreign land and damning Kenya? No. This is why, it's totally different even with some of the politicians who are in Kenya. Some of the politicians who are in Kenya, they are going all over. They are denting the image of Kenya. They are enjoying, international attention, to damn Kenya. And even in Zambia, it's the same. We have the Nakachindas, the Makebi Zulus. They enjoy when people are speaking bad of our country. It is not right. You people, you have been talking about Traore, no Traore, Traore. Why are you talking about Traore? Is it that Burkina Faso has become heaven all of a sudden? Is it that there are no problems in Burkina Faso? There are problems there. There are problems there. But the reputation, the propaganda, the positive propaganda for Traore has made Traore to, he is a great leader. He's a great leader. Why? Because, Traore, being a military man, he's handling those people who may be speaking negatively. So, the only news that is coming out is positive. Positive. Who is going to write about Traore, about things which are not right? Who is going to do that? Who is going to do that? But I'm showing you how a country, when you speak positively, the outlook you get. Many of you are thinking of, Burkina Faso as if the country is doing so well and everything. But really, if you ask yourself, all those things all the praises that, you are giving on Burkina Faso, can you really substantiate them? Can you really substantiate them? Can you really substantiate them? Do you really even know what is going on in Burkina Faso? Do you know? But the positive propaganda is what has made, Traore is a great president. He's a great president. Now, in our country, You people thrive at damning our country. You are so unpatriotic. No, we can't bury Edgar Lungu in Zambia because the government which is there is bad, because the president who is there is bad. And this is where some of you have been saying, no, let him just be buried there. No, we are tired. Let him just be buried there. That will be a mark that Zambia is so bad that their own president, their former president, is buried in another country. That is bad publicity. That is not good for our country. It's not good for our country. So even those of you who say, no, hey, let him be buried there, let him be buried there, you don't understand the implication of that kind of action. That will be the tombstone which will be made in South Africa. It will be a tombstone. It will be a symbol of a bad government in Zambia. It will be a symbol of bad government in Zambia. And anyone who is patriotic will not want that kind of situation. We don't want a situation whereby when you reach the airport, you present your passport and they start doubting it. Some of us who have traveled around, we know what it means. Some of us who have interacted with different people of different nationalities, we understand what that means, what it means to have a positive image of your country. It is very important to have a positive image of the country. Some of you are so myopic. Some of you are so naive. You don't realize the implication of having a negative narrative for your country. It has an impact on innocent citizens. You are traveling anywhere, you present a passport. Because of the bad publicity that you have been giving a country, somebody suffers for it. You apply for a visa, the visa is denied. You go to do business, your business is frustrated. Students go to other countries to study, and their visas are being denied. People looking for jobs, and their jobs are not being given because of the bad publicity. So these things, they have an implication, Mwebantu. You need to understand, you need to have a bigger view. You need to have a bigger view of your country, a wide, I don't know what terminology to use. I find it very strange that some of these people, they even want to lead Zambia, and they are busy supporting that a former head of state should be buried in another country. No, it is not right. It is not right. It has an implication, and it's beyond Hakainde Ichilem. Some of you are just looking at the hatred that you have against Hakainde Ichilem. You want to embarrass Hakainde Ichilem, but I can assure you, the ones who are going to suffer are the citizens and not Hakainde Ichilem. Hakainde Ichilem is a diplomat forever. He's a diplomat forever. He has been a president. Wherever you go, he will be received as a diplomat. Hakainde Ichilem will not be denied anything in any country because Edgar Lungu is buried in whatever. But you, the ordinary citizens, you will find yourself in trouble because you are just ordinary with your innocent passport. But because of the nonsense that is going on, no, that country, no, this person, no. International jobs. We lose on international platforms. This one is standing as a World Bank, whatever, or tourism, whatever. We lose those positions. Do you know why we lose those positions? Why those positions are not given to us? It is because of the negative publicity. How can we give this Zambian this position, an international position? We voted for this person. Zambia, there is bad publicity. They can't give you. It has an implication in where one to. You should know what it means to protect the image of your country. The reputation of your country is very important. And don't just say, no, Hakainde Ichilem. It has implications. And that is why Raila Odinga, if you look at Raila Odinga, check Raila Odinga, wherever he was outside, he spoke positively of the government. You don't see, no. Very diplomatic, very diplomatic, very diplomatic man. Very diplomatic man. Very patriotic. For me, what I've learned on Raila Odinga, number one, is, respect the government in power. Respect the government in power. Respect the incumbent. Respect them. Respect them. You can be powerful and everything, but respect the government in power. Number two, be patriotic. In spite of your political ambitions and what, be patriotic. Be patriotic. Raila Odinga was patriotic. He put Kenya first. Is what Edgar Lungu doing patriotic? Is what Makebi is doing patriotic? What Nakachinda has been doing patriotic? These are the issues. These are the issues which I criticize, which I don't agree with. And no, Tayali Mushani Nawali. Hey, why are you supporting these people? Hey, and yet you are in exile. I know. If you don't know, I am one of the best politicians in Zambia. Tawaita Shabati, ma politics kuilumba. I am one of the best politicians in Zambia. I understand things. I'm able to see. I calculate kunta nshinamona 2026 ile inda chanya. 2026 ile ya kuliyaka inde ichilema. I am smart to see that. I am smart to see that. Others, they are so dumb, they can't see it. They are so dumb, they can't see that Haka Inde Ichilema is winning in 2026. They can't see it because they are dumb. Honestly, how can you think that Haka Inde Ichilema is going to lose 2026? How? How? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who you are dumb. I can assure you that. I can assure you that if you think Haka Inde Ichilema is going to lose 2026, you are dumb and you are dumb. You are dumb. If you can't see it, it is written clearly. Haka Inde Ichilema cannot lose an election. He can't lose an election. He can't. How can he? How can even if Haka Inde Ichilema says, no way, I don't want to be president in 2026. The people of Zambia, you say, people, but I can tell you, the people of Zambia will force Haka Inde Ichilema back into that state house. Nobody else is going into that state house again. Nobody else, Haka Inde Ichilema is going there unless, something else, God takes him, he's sick or whatever. But God forbid. Unless those circumstances, not an election. How? How can Haka Inde Ichilema lose? How? You shock me, people. You shock me. You shock me. So if you are a good politician, you are able to tell. You are able to tell. Yes. You are right, Moses. It's like you're talking about Uganda. You're talking about Uganda. That Bobby Wine would go everywhere, would pull all the crowds. But that presidency is solid. That presidency is solid, my dear. How can you remove Museveni? How can you remove Museveni, Muse? You think you can uplift Museveni? Who are you? How? Even Haka Inde Ichilema. Haka Inde Ichilema. So you need to be sharp in politics. And I tell you, you say, Tayali. I'm the most astute politician in Zambia. I'm the most astute politician in Zambia. Because I can see beyond, I can see things. And most of the times I'm right, especially in Zambian situation. In 2015, I told Haka Inde Ichilema, you are losing to Edgar Lungu. And he lost. Because the infrastructure at that time was proper PF. It was proper PF. 2016, we had to work very hard. Thanks to Kaiza Zulu. Thanks to Kaiza Zulu. Lungu would have lost that election. But thanks to Kaiza Zulu, even me, Mulentasha. Mulentasha, you should appreciate me. You won 2016 with my help, big time. 2021, I saw Trevor Simwinda saying, I got it wrong in 2021. No. It's you people who don't have the right history, who don't have the right facts. 2021, I supported Hakainde Hichilema. I told the PF, Chris Zuma Nzimba is there, ask him. I told them, this election doesn't look good. I was in his office, Chris Zuma Nzimba. And Chris Zuma Nzimba argued with me. What followed next? I was arrested. People accusing me to say, no, Tayali has been given 2 million by Hakainde Hichilema. But what I said, what happened in 2021? They arrested me. When they arrested me, before they arrested me, I was just talking in the background. I spoke to a number of people. I was moving from one office to the other. Kampiongo will tell you, I used to go to his office there. I used to go to Munduvire. I used to talk about this. Things don't look good in Mwabantu. You are going to lose. You are going to lose. Instead of listening to me, they arrested me. And when I came out, I said, okay, let me now make sure that you go. And I joined the bandwagon. I campaigned for Hakainde Hichilema. I campaigned for Hakainde Hichilema because I wanted to make sure that the PF, they see Matako ya Njoka. And indeed they saw Matako ya Njoka. I campaigned, 2021, I campaigned for HH. I didn't campaign for PF. I told you about PF, Muleru Sama elections, telling them that I became, I have been given 2 million. I was accused of having been paid money by Hakainde Hichilema. And yet I was just telling them, I was just advising them. If the PF were listening to me, in many instances, even the situation in which they are, it wouldn't have happened. I have always told them, imwe this, imwe this, imwe this. And in everything that I've said about PF, everything has come to pass. So, if you underrate my political astuteness, that is your problem. If you think I'm a fool to support Hakainde Hichilema, the joke is on you. The joke is on you. If you really think that I'm being foolish, if you really think I'm just doing this for my freedom, you are a fool. I'm telling you, if you can't see it, that this election is already gone. If you can't see that this election is already determined, go and register to vote. Go and register to vote. But as you are registering, know that Hakainde Hichilema is winning. Just go and register and vote for Hakainde Hichilema. Don't go and register and thinking to say, I'm registering to kick out Hakainde Hichilema. It's not possible. It's not possible. Even if Hakainde Hichilema himself says, awe. There is no way. There is no way. Look at this Raila Odinga himself. Look at this Raila Odinga. How he struggled. How he struggled. Look at the power that he had. Look at the people that he was pulling. Yeah? How come he failed to become president? How come? How come he failed to become president? 5 times with a lot of support. With a lot of support. My wife? Hey, what up? What happened? Why? But he said that he was coming there. I'm shocked. Allah. I hope you carried your passport. Okay, just as well. Ish. Yeah. Yeah. No, you manage. You manage. Yeah, as long as... Okay. Okay. Life is to fight. You see, we are fighting. Even here, I'm talking, but I'm sorting out things in the background. Kukosa politics. Hey, kukosa. Anyway, let me open phone lines. Let me open phone lines on that note. Let people call in. Let people call in. Hello? I'm answering a phone which is a call which is not there. Please, you can call in now and make your contribution on anything. Yeah, life. And you see, that is life. Here I am, I'm talking, what, but in the background there are things which are boiling. Now I cover. But here I am, talking to you, even laughing when I'm not supposed to be laughing. I'm supposed to be, whatever, but such is life, So you can call in. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, there is a difference. Hello? Yes.
Yes. So I want to find out what will happen if the investigation find out that the teacher was poisoned.
Well, the point is that Isia was not poisoned, so I would not even enter into those discussions. What will happen, because it will never happen. I mean, the man was sick from 2017. The man has been sick, so there is nothing like Isia was poisoned. That's the only thing that I can tell you.
And then why is it that nobody has seen the body?
Yeah, that is the problem which we are discussing. Why, the Lungus have been talking, oh no, Edgar Lungu is dead. Yes, for me, I believe that yes, Edgar Lungu is dead. But, why they have been holding on to the body so much is something that is beyond. It is just the difficulty of the Lungu family. Yeah.
Okay. So I heard that they filed in a case so that the investigative wings in South Africa, they can go and investigate what happened to the big man. That's when they're able to see the body and find out what caused the death.
Anyway, I think I must... Okay, no, thank you, my brother. I think I must admit that I'm a little bit apprehensive now with what is going on elsewhere. So maybe let me end here, because my concentration is divided now. I don't think I'll be able to respond to your questions and whatever properly, because I need to pay attention. So I'll leave it here for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I apologize that I can't open phone lines and allow you to continue engaging on this, because I need to attend to something else. Thank you very much. Good night.